and that how's it doing. So something that the government need to address straight away is the issue of private buses. Now, whenever the schools go back, it will be a mess because private buses, with the lockdown and everything, they haven't been going anywhere. Usually they bring two groups around. Oh, school, as I was saying, but schools. Obviously they lost a lot of revenue. It has been talked about eireann today, about private buses and everything like that. Now, the majority of school buses now, just to say, are privatised now. Bus eireann is bankrupt, as we all know. Bus eireann is not going to end well after this, to be honest with you, but there's a lot of buses going, and there'll be wing seats. I did ring the Department of Transport. I was told, I already knew myself there's a wing seats. But, and there's another thing just when I'm talking about two issues with the buses. There's a bus route from Athlone to Monaghan. And people are being left behind because there's only one bus, so they can't get any other buses, bus eireann to. You'll have 2 or 3 buses going, they only have one bus and they can use, basically, what I'm trying to say. Because they can't afford to have it, they don't have the drivers, they don't have the resources. And I was like, when I rang the Department of Transport, I wasn't talking to anybody high in the Department of Transport. But I was in contact with a Monaghan County Councillor yesterday. And I suggested that they take a bus off one of the private companies and give them, kind of wet it out. But I don't know whether to take that suggestion, because that's the best suggestion you have. They have 2 buses, going from that route, because there's people being stranded. The other day there was 20 people stranded down there and had to wait for a few hours for the next bus. Which was, obviously a long time in between the hours, and they obviously have to get stuck on that loan. So yeah, that's just something. But yeah, privatisation, like buses, bus companies will find it difficult because obviously they wouldn't there. And there's obviously funding from the local authorities going to it, but I don't know if it's enough. I wouldn't be too certain that there is a lot of funding, but it's probably something. But with the schools reopening to it, I guess is the funding for the schools to reopen is absolutely massive. But there needs to be funding given to the bus companies that are want to bring these children forward to the state. Because bus eireann just can't cope with the simple that bus eireann doesn't have the resources to cope with something like this. But yeah, it's just, it's a terrible situation all around. And obviously bus eireann is, over 200 buses, school buses being put off the road by bus eireann this year. Next year, the beginning of next year, sorry. Beginning of, December, after December this year, there's good buses, school buses going off the road. So hopefully maybe the government might fund it. But not likely, to be honest. But it's just going to be, and then it's obviously mandatory too. I found this out, I didn't know this. Nobody clarified this. And I think the Minister for Education should clarify this to the young people of Ireland. Say if they take bus eireann or floods, whatever buses, they should clarify that they have to wear masks, and the school buses you have to wear masks. And obviously it's very stupid, to be honest, that you have to wear masks. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I don't think really masks make much of a difference on in buses, especially for young people. I don't think young people are that, in my opinion. So I don't know, maybe I'm not a doctor, I'm not trained as a doctor, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's bad enough if you're in a huge crowded area, but on a bus, there's only certain amount, but it's going to be difficult. Trying to push people in, like the Ballyhays bus, for example. The Ballyhays bus is run by a private company. I don't know what then. I'm talking about they going to Loretto College and St. Pat's and to Breffni College and then to the Wire, the Wire. They're obviously packed, and obviously there need to be other buses put on. I have been in contact with the obviously with the welfare authorities. In that regard, just seeing with the Ballyhays bus, because the Ballyhays bus is overcrowded as it is, and it's going to obviously I'm worried about them, but buses that have small amount of people on it, like a few people, school buses, because there's buses that have very small numbers. Say the Ballyhays bus there could be 40 people on it, and other buses saying going to Kinloch, maybe there might be only 15 to 16 or 17 people on it, then there's not much need, in my opinion, to wear masks. But on the buses that have huge amount of people, obviously it's needed, to be honest, it's needed. But for young people, again, I don't know. But I was told that, and I didn't know that. Nobody explained to anybody, and I don't even think half of the young people found knew as soon as they go back to school. they will have to wear it. They take your buses. They have to wear it. And I tried to contact the Department of Education. Couldn't get through. I had to go to the ads machine. I left my number and everything. But it's going to be difficult to get through to them, I say, because they'll probably swap with calls from parents. But no, I will try and get through to them. I will send off an email to the ETB, the Cavan ETB. But not unlikely I'll probably get through to them either, because I say everybody's winging my words. But yeah, it's just in relation to maths. I don't know during the break times, because they're talking about 1 metre distances for secondary schools. But I don't know about maths at break time. Like obviously if you're outside it's a lot more safer. But if you're inside, like a crowded school, I don't know how they're going to work it. I'm still trying to figure out. There's a few schools that I live beside, and we're trying to figure it out, because it's not possible. It's not possible to bring in the whole school on one day. It's not possible. It's not feasible. It couldn't be done. Even with the fund, even if we got limited funding, we don't have the space. We don't have the capacity. We don't have the teachers. And though we can't even get any teachers. That's another thing. The subject for a different day. But we are like the school down beside me. They tried looking for 4 extra teachers, 4 additional teachers to have, because there is a good number of students. This is a primary school, just to take for example. There's not really much, but it's hard because they're trying to put children's out before anything else. They tried to look for 4 teachers. Only think they need 4 teachers extra. They can't get them. There's nobody. It's nobody. All of them in Australia. They tried 6 or 7 people. They're all gone to Saudi Arabia and Australia. Then New Zealand, they're getting better money. As they said, they wouldn't come back even if they're getting $1 million. And they're probably right, because I say a lot of teachers would say the same. They're white. But yeah, just saying about that. I talk about this different day because it's just a shamble. I don't think the Minister for Education knows how bad everything's crumbling around them. But yeah, it has to be done. And I said to the government, take on board what I said, because it's something that you haven't thought about. But anyway, take a watch. This is what I want to take care.